Welcome back to part 2. We are going to be doing a minor refactor. There were some rough edges and some things that I was unhappy with. There were some comments that I got from other people, and they were really good comments. And we're going to do an enhancement pass today. We're just going to spend a few minutes, hopefully, and make this a whole lot better because version 2 is always better than version 1. And I like coming back to things. So one of the first things I want to do is we had some interesting like resizing issues yesterday with this code right here that was kind of centering things, and I liked it being in the center. It was nice. And if I pop back over here and save, okay, it's back in the center, but I'm not getting to sort of experience my responsiveness, and so I wanted to fix that today. So we're going to go to our responsive ordered list, and we're going to set resize on it, and we're going to set that to both. And whenever you have resize, you need to have overflow so that works, and we should see a little grabber pop up down here in the bottom right, and there it is. Okay, so now we can resize it. And look, we have a little bit of an issue right there already. And maybe that's just because of how we did it this time, because the container directly is switching. Look at that though. It didn't do that before. So we're going to debug that a little bit, but I like that. And let's put a border on this container just for another kind of, we can see where we're resizing. Like where are we flowing inside of? So I got a border, 1 pixel solid, light gray. This is just a debug color. There we go. Okay, so here's our container. All right, one of the things that I didn't like yesterday was using max inline size or max width. I just don't like specifying widths on things. I try to avoid even maximum widths. There needs to be a reason behind it, because otherwise I'm going to want fluidity and I want to release control. So let's get rid of max inline size and try to figure out how to get this layout working in a way that's equally valuable. So look, here's our problem. Our problem yesterday that we had is we wanted this circle to end where the end of its content was. And we have the parent is a display grid, and we have our children here, ordered list items. So we're being stretched because we're flexing into the space here. And what we want to do is, we had a max inline size, but I think we could get away with doing some alignment here, like an aligned self. Oh, align self, that's a vertical. We need justify self start. Okay, so we can use Flexbox to justify like the self of these children. So each ordered list item can basically express that it wants to be aligned to start, which takes the stretching away that was happening on the inline axis. And so we're going to, I actually don't want this to be owned by the child, because right now the parent has a lot of responsibility. Look, at our parent is the grid. So if our parent can put a property on here like, okay, so if we were justifying self on the children, we're going to want to justify items on the parent, because that essentially sets justify self on all of the children. If I set that to start, boom. Okay. Excellent. And if I do align items start, do we fix our other bug? We do. Okay, so essentially we have our grid lines. So if I pull this back out, in fact, I can make this grid stick. Yeah. If I resize, oh yeah, look at that. Okay, but we also see a problem that is happening here that we weren't getting before. We have these row heights that are sort of, I wonder if that's because we're setting a height and a width here. It is. So if we took out our fun little example and go back to this, let's just test. Yeah. Oh, look at that. We don't have our good alignment here. So we have, oh, we lost our styles. So we need to say justify items start. Okay, so here, so let's make sure we change down our code here. So we have display grid, justify items start, and we can resize here and see that all working great. Okay, yes, we have restored our previous functionality, but this time moving all the responsibility to the parent. And the parent in this case was the one that wanted to sort of control the children. It was already setting a massive box for it to be in, and now it's sort of allowing the children to squeeze and shrink wrap. I kind of like using the word shrink wrap, even though it's not always the exact best one. Anyway, they shrink wrap and they fit their content. And look, that's nice. This grid, I'm gonna change its color. That's a little too salmon for me. Can I get a hot pink up in here? Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, we got rid of oh, there was another one where I used aspect ratio. Yeah, right here. And I had a really awesome suggestion from Josh to use flex shrink 0. And let's check that out. So essentially the icon now and the number here, instead of being an aspect ratio and instead of, let's see, do I have a block size? Yeah, I don't need to be specifying my widths like I was before. Okay, cool. And we will shrink. And look at those go. Yep, no squishing. So we put that code in there before to prevent a squish that was happening, and we are no longer squishing into this space. So that's nice. This is still interesting that if the container grows like that, these grow. I might check it out, but I might not. We'll see. Okay, cool. Should I go back to centering these things in the... I guess we're getting kind of weird behavior. Maybe I won't. Let's get rid of the resize, and we'll come back to it. We'll come back to it because right now I don't know if it's really helping. I did like seeing our grid all the time, though. That was cool. Okay. Yep, although it's color, gotta change that color. Back to, yeah. Okay. We changed our flex behavior, so now we are just saying we don't want to shrink at all, and that will prevent us from collapsing here. And we set an inline size. I like that we set up our icon here and our items here as a size, because then we can get the perfect centering and we don't have to deal with any padding scenarios. Sometimes padding as a centering technique in a round icon, it can have some issues. So anyway, I like that we solved that there. Okay, other things to check out. So our parent grid is good. We've fixed our max inline size. Let's check out this code. This is all fine. This is normal looking layout and style code. Excellent. Block. Okay. Border. White. Okay. I think we're good here for this. So some of the other changes I wanted to make was our triangle is not exactly in the center of the circle here. Here we can even see it just vaguely there. I'll zoom in. Right? So I want to fix that. I want to basically make our view box more fit to our shape here, and then just see how alignment. So here, let's fix that. So we've got our counter. This is our list item counter and our list item icon. They share these styles here. This is the one that's setting their size. Oh, I need to be looking at the SVG, and the SVG is right here. Oh, and wait, I need to change this right now. We sized something by padding it yesterday, and that was not fun. So I'm going to take out this padding on the list item icon, take out the box sizing. Our SVG here, let me zoom out so we can kind of see what I'm doing here. And our SVG will be responsible for this. So the SVG, let's have like width 50%, height 50%. This is much better. This is how a designer would describe the way that the icon should fit in there, and I think that's too big. So if 50% was too much, let's go 40%. 40% looks better. So I like coding things that match the sort of way that someone would describe it. They wouldn't describe that they'd want, 10 pixels of padding around the sides of that. I just don't think they would. I think they describe this as they want it to be, 40%, or maybe this many pixels high. So we could say, it's half. Oh, here, let's make 1x. Now it's the height of a lowercase x, and we could make it a m to do an uppercase m. See if that's larger considerably. How about a char unit, which is somewhere in between? Look at that. 1 character high is actually kind of amazing. I'm gonna leave that there. Okay, and then the width is coming with it because we're stretching it. Now, if we zoom back in though, we should still be off center. So here's our polygon, here's our view box. Okay, so let's go to our index HTML and let's fix our view box. So one of the things that we did is we hand wrote these points in a polygon, which go from up here to the center on the right to the bottom. And what we eventually did was we took out the 100 because it was too long, and we snub-nosed it to 60, but we didn't change our view box. So I'm going to do that first because our longest point that's going on the x-axis here is 60, so we don't need anything larger than 60 wide. So here, I'm just going to grab all of these copies in here, change the first entry to 60 and save. Okay, and look at our SVG. Okay, so look at our polygons and our SVG box now fit. That's what we're looking for. And now we're in the center. Look at that. We can see We are perfectly visually in the center. And if anything, I could even argue that we have accidentally made, oh no, okay, there's a little bit of offset. If you look at the blue highlight, it has that like 1 pixel to the left of space, and then its nose has 1 pixel space to the right. I think this is probably a bug in the overlay, not being like 100% precise. But anyway, I think we have perfectly fit that there, which is nice. I didn't like how that was sized before. This is much easier. Okay, the next thing I want to do is make these interactive, because right now they don't do anything and they look like they should go to a page. And right now we have them as divs, and so let's change them to anchors. And we're gonna go grab all these anchors and say href is pound. And let's just look at the result of that. So what we have is now our text is a link. It looks like a link. We'll go fix that in a second. And if I tab, I can tab through our numbered items here. So I got that for free. I got some interactive keyboard accessibility. And that's because they're in a link now, and that's an interactive element. And it has a target, so they'd be reading and hearing where that destination URL is, along with hopefully our title here. So that's some additional work we might have to do, but I don't think so. This looks pretty self-explanatory here. We could add some icon ARIA attributes so it gets ignored, or give it a label so that it made more sense, or maybe make it hidden. Anyway, so there's work to be done with this icon, but I think these first two areas are great. Let's change and update some of our styles. So that is affecting our ordered list item. Let's find our ordered list item. Here it is. And we're going to set its, well, we have background color here. So let's set the text color to our text color, and set the text decoration to none, because I think our whole presentation here is good enough. And now that we are an ordered list item and we are getting interactive stuff, we might as well throw an and focus in here. And on focus, we could do a transform and translate. Oh, let's scale. Let's scale like 5% more than where it is right now. So it's like saying 105%. So if we're going to transform, we are going to need to transition, right? We're going to get this freebie. We're going to transition our transform property over 0.2 seconds with an ease in out. This is just a fun, sane default for me. I like to start here and we'll see where it goes. And I'll hit save and tab through. Look at that. Looks like we're using a DVD menu now. I like it. Okay, so wait, did I just say DVD menu? Does anyone know what a DVD is? Anyway, whatever. I've got my video game controller going through my video game UI. Whatever. Actually, this would be a great moment to whip out a Switch controller and move through these. Okay, so anyway, we've got a focus. We don't have hover. We did get a hover cursor though for free, which is nice. So let's fix that. Let's use is focus or hover. Look at my editors like, you don't know what you're doing. And I'm like, touche, look at that. Now I have hover. And if I tab through, I have tab. So this is using nested syntax. So I'm basically saying, hey, place this selector right here at this and build out a new selector that's using the is pseudo class that's simultaneously matching a focus and a hover. And so we're getting a double there in one little statement. Okay, so that's cool for that. What else to do? We fixed the SVG. We added our interactions. Let's get rid of the counter text. I think it's it was fun to stub it that way, but I think we could use counter in here. So let's get rid of all the counter copy and fill that with CSS. So we have a responsive ordered list. This class should be setting the context for the counter. So we'll make sure that that has like the counter reset or whatever. I can't remember the name of the style, so we'll have to figure it out. I'm gonna go back to styles here. Actually, here, wait, counter reset. Yeah, I think you get to set a custom name here. Okay, so here, we'll do that. In the responsive ordered list, we will set, what was it, counter reset to responsive OL. Responsive, I always spell that word wrong, but it looks good. Okay, responsive OL. And our ordered list item, our ordered list counter actually wants to use this. So we're going to use it and increment it. So we need to counter increment. Basically, yeah, we point at that counter and then counter, what is this one to use? Oh, I know we want to put it in the content area here. And no, I don't think it's string. I think it's like counter. Maybe you reference the responsive. Let's see. Save. Refresh. Nope. Okay, so let's see. I've got responsive ordered list. We've got a counter reset. That's what we want here. And then our usage down here, counter. Let's see if we got some feedback in DevTools or counter reset. That's fine. I bet you I have a typo somewhere. That isn't the one that needs the content. It's this that needs the content. Hey, it looks like our code is fine here. Responsive OL counter. If I put just a string in here, I'm not seeing my this stuff. There is no content concept. Hey, editor. Oh, I need to say and before. Now we'll have a content area for this pseudo element that would be placed before, and it will be incrementing this counter. Let's see some values in there. We see some values, okay, but they didn't quite increment. Doesn't matter the order. No, why would they not increment? Because the counter increment is not working. So let's check our span. Oh, does this need to increment at the node level and then just be used at the, oh, no. Okay, because I can see counter increment responsive OL. It has a 0, so that's a really good sign. What? Responsive OL? That's not a typo. Or was it? It was not a it was a typo. Responsive UL. I need OL. Oh man, that was the hardest part here, was naming my own thing and remembering what I named it and using that name across the, oh, come on. Okay, well, whatever. We're done. We now have dynamic numbers, so we don't have to manage that anymore. We get to throw that in. And since we used a span, we got to style it nice and easy. We probably could have got away with a pseudo element on the before, like this ordered list item, but I kind of like that we're sharing styles between these two things. I don't know, you could do it different if you want to. I think I also want to make sure that these are tabular numbers in there. What is that CSS again? So we want to get it in here. This is for the list item counter, sure. This is font variant numeric tabular nums. All right, pro tip right there. That one will make your numbers as they sort of expand and collapse, they always take up the same space. It's kind of like monospace, but not really. It's just really nice to use for numbers, especially, well, tabular numbers, right? It sounds like it. I think it might help you with some alignment as well in these circles. Okay, and I'll save that. Let's clear that up. In fact, we could just get rid of that whole nested selector, because why? Drop that back in. Okay. How's that? We're looking good. We could add like a hover color change or something. I mean, there's a lot of potential now that it's laid out this well, but these cover all of the refactors that I wanted to do, I think. So we set up a counter, which helped us get rid of the manual management of the number. We justified our items to the start here, and that got rid of our width code that we were specifying on our children that said max inline size or just max width. And that's nice that we now get to give that up and let the parent decide how these children are aligning themselves inside of the content column that's being created. So this is really neat to think about, that the grid is getting made, and then the parent is setting child alignment properties that are making it expand or contract, or in this case, Una has a good description, which is like your balloon is floating into the corner. That's what we want here. We made perfect columns. We have 2 perfect columns in this example. I'll just pull open grid again here. Got 2 perfect columns, and the balloons inside of each area are floating into the top left, and that's like the start there. We made these a link, and the link gave us some interactivity. So now we can tab through our links here with a keyboard, and we could activate these with a keyboard. We got a lot of free stuff for putting that inside of a link, and we only had to change a couple of styles, and we added focus and hover styles, just a little bit of customization there, some animation. We changed the height of the icon SVG. So now we're explicitly controlling the height of the icon here as 1 character. So it's pretty much the height of S right there, it looks like. And now it's not doing any weird padding stuff to get there. And we used our font variant inside of our list item counter to improve the styles. And we managed our view box. So we went into our SVG and we made it fit perfectly, and now it fits perfectly into the circle there. And if we put a circle behind it, in fact, let's just do that really quick. Let's go here, give you background color. Background color is, let's see, gray. Oh yeah. Border radius 50%, sure. How about just like your friend there? It looks like we should put the border radius on the list item icon as well. Let's do that, and I think this can go back to 50%. How's that? Okay, and now I can say background white on this one. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Anyway, look at how the icon fits perfectly in there. Especially as we resize, we're always going to have that nice kind of perfect fit. We have shared styles and alignment that are really helping us out there. And look at this as we get kind of into these 2-lined squishier pills where we have space on the top and the bottom. I wonder if that's a little bit of what we were seeing with that stretching in the beginning. I don't think so, because once we get to this scenario, we don't see it. But maybe if one of these stretched really big. Anyway. This is the end of my refactor for now. Maybe we'll find some more issues. If you have other enhancements that you want to see, if you still see bugs, like here, we haven't checked accessibility. Like, what is it here? Oh, it's great. It's totally passing. Just the red pass. The red pass is it's small. We could probably bump that up a little bit. It's kind of fun seeing VisBug under some of the CSS grid stuff and over other parts of it. Competing for that top layer. Okay, anyway, thanks for watching. I hope this refactor video was helpful for you. I love these little nitpicky moments too. It's fun to go create. It's fun to refine. What's the next part of your process that you would do here? Is this where you would transition to a framework? You get to pull this into a component library, data drive this. Tell me, let's write some stuff in the comments. And what kind of stuff do you want to see next? Is this what you want to see? Does this help you with your layout? Are you learning about Flexbox? What are you not learning about? Talk to me. Let's fix it. Let's make it better. I'll see you later, y'all. Bye.